You don't play to just play. Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40! Can't wait! Let's go!
That would help if you can hear me. Because what's up, y'all? It's me, it's Kid. We're back with another episode of the Hoop Dreams and TV Queens. As always, it's me and myself, and we got Jury. What's going on, man? What's going on, Jury? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself? Tired, but I'm all right.
I can't complain. I cannot complain. But yeah, we're on YouTube right now because Facebook wants to be a little retarded today for me. But we're gonna spread the word around to come on check us out over here. But we got some great topics for y'all today. We got to run down some NBA. NBA's back and a little bit of NFL. Of course, we're gonna go over our picks and predictions. But let's get right into the NBA. With your boy Anthony Davis, Darvin Ham said he wants him to take at least 6 threes a game. Your thoughts on that?
I think not. Please don't do that. Like, I understand what he's trying to do, but if Anthony Davis is like, he's way too inconsistent offensively to even trust him to shoot 5 threes in a game, much less 6. So it's like, I understand if you want to put a little wrinkle into the game plan every once in a while, but don't lean on him shooting threes, because it'll get us in more trouble than what it's worth.
No, definitely. I can see 1 or 2, not 6. But let's be real. Anthony Davis is the power forward. He plays the 4. So you taking a 3, how are you gonna rebound? How are you gonna get the rebound and
exactly
facilitate the
especially
offense?
if you brick it?
Get the fast break going or getting some transition offense. How are you going to do that? How are you going to grab rebounds when you are taking threes at the top of the key, the corner? How is this working? How are you getting an offensive rebound? You're there to get offensive rebounds and score on the inside. I can see 1 or 2 a game, but 6, his free throw, his 3-point shot was not great. What was he, about 30%?
Exactly.
I mean,
keep AD in the paint. Let the shooting go to Mr. Reeves and whoever else. Keep AD in the paint.
I agree. It's just not a good look. I just don't want him to shoot no threes or whatever. What's going on, Kyle? Appreciate you. I can see 1 or 2, but he talking about 6. If you open at the top of the key, maybe you trailing and you want to take that shot, go ahead. But don't just put in your game plan, okay, AD's going to take 6 threes today. And where's the spacing going to be at? If he's at the top
that's what, 18 points right there?
That's 18 points.
That's 18 points right there. No. That sets you up for failure. Just to put 18 points out there in quotation marks, depending on whether or not he's on or not that night. No. That'll get you beat.
He can get 18 points in the paint.
Exactly.
Like he get 18 points in the paint. Why he got to take a 3? Like I said, if he's like a trailer and they find him open and he at the top, go ahead and let it rip. But 6 threes, I don't like. I don't like Anthony Davis. That's not who Anthony Davis is. We know Anthony Davis, the mid-range shot, the free throw shot, in the paint, dominant, post up. He's not a person to take threes. And I pray and hope as we watching the Lakers this season, we don't see his 3-point shooting. Look, if he's going to be good at it, okay. But I don't like that in game plan at all. I don't like it.
As the Laker fan, I might have a rant or two if he starts breaking like that, because he's too inconsistent. Like Mr. Ham, like we messed around and got to the Western Conference Finals off of what? Paint dominance and defense, and you want to turn AD into a shooter, which he's never really been? No, sir. No,
So
sir.
let me be clear. Let me just make sure. Um, his stats from the 3 point line. I mean, for three, just to make sure. 3 point percentage. Um, I'm sure it ain't that great. So from his career, he's made 311 shots from beyond the arc. He does average out to his career 0.5 3 pointers per game.
Like, why are we even quadrupling or whatever the word is? Why is that even a thought? Like, what was he doing when he just thought, oh, I'm gonna make the AD, I'm gonna plan AD to shoot 6 threes a game? Like, what is going on in people's heads?
Sax mode. Keep his ass in the mid range and
In a
post.
post.
I
Like,
agree. He okay, so last season he shot point three. Point three. Y'all want him to take free Darvingham, you right. I hope maybe you was a little drunk or maybe a little high that day when you said that. But they got to create space in the paint for Jackson Hayes to move exactly where you will have no space in.
to do what? And do what? All or nothing but cardio.
But
Like,
this Lakers team is up and improved as far as said person standards in this network. I'm not gonna say no names, but you already know. He's already saying, "Oh, we looking good at the three. The score is 7-11." Are you kidding me? The game just started, Freddie. Like, the game just started. But I said
wait
I
till the
wasn't gonna
regular
say
season
nothing.
starts.
But I said I wasn't gonna say nothing because I already know how my Sixers gonna be. We're not gonna talk about James Harden today. We're not.
Oh no.
I
That's
already know how
right.
my Sixers are gonna be. But I told Freddie if the Lakers don't do something, I'm going. Yep, grill time. We
Save
gonna need.
me. Spare me.
Oh no, I'm not coming at you. It's Freddie. It's always gonna be Freddie. that's gonna get the brunt of this. NBA also. What is going on with Dylan Brooks? He getting ejected already? It's preseason.
The games don't even count. Why are you getting kicked out? Why are you even doing non-basketball stuff?
He said he got to put his enthusiasm somewhere else. The Giants ain't going. That's true. But
That's true.
why are we ejecting people in preseason?
Why is he doing what? It's something about him because it's like he tries so hard to be a villain, and now he's just being dirty. Because I've watched what he got ejected for. That was not a basketball play.
It
And what
wasn't.
is with these players and aiming for below the belt areas? Because that's a fight if you do me like that. To be completely honest, like, come on, Dylan. I feel like Ime Udoka in Houston is trying to put together more of a disciplined roster. You can't be doing that crap like that in preseason.
Right.
It's your first game as a Rocket and you last all of 5 minutes. Come on, Dylan. 5 minutes.
He said his nickname is Dylan the Villain. Oh my God.
He's a menace and not in a good way. He need to tone it down.
I just don't get it. Like he was in over the summer, he was in the court, working on the shot. And I'm not saying basketball wise Dylan Brooks is bad because he's not.
Mm-mm.
He's not bad at all. He's a good basketball player. It's just his attitude and things like that. Will he be good for Houston? I think he will be. And like Mo said, Coach Udoka got patience and he will be tested this season.
Yep.
So we saw Dylan Brooks.
I pray for that man.
He said he don't know discipline is in his vocabulary.
It's not.
That 4-year contract, though, after year 1, will they be regretting it, or will Dylan Brooks be like, all right, he got to be humbled and chill. Like, okay, maybe my actions and my attitude can't be like this. So we'll see what's going on, Daniel Berry. So we don't know, but I pray, Coach Udoka, Ume is going to have some patience. And hopefully Dylan Brooks don't get ejected because one, Houston is still a young team, so they still got young players. You don't want this in the locker room around them, around their mentality, and you're young and up and coming team.
They're
I
still
think
babies. They're my age.
I think Houston can still maybe fight for a play-in. They got Van Vliet. You got Dylan Brooks. You got one of the twins. I forget which one they got. You still got Jalen Green. Like this team, they're playing. They got Cam Whitmore. Even that's Mo wanted Cam Whitmore, but Rob didn't pull the trigger on that.
I did. But
Whitmore too. I think Houston to be good. Like they'll maybe fight for a play-in tournament seed spot. We'll see, but they're definitely gonna be better than they was last year. So Dylan Brooks got to get his ish together. Like
he needs to settle down.
He definitely do need.
This is year 8. It's the time for all of that is done.
Not year 8. Year 8, and you still acting like this?
Yeah,
that's bad. That's bad. One more thing before we move on to the NFL. Load management. The NBA finally sees that load management does not instill, injuries or make players healthier or anything like that. They had this theory or they tested or somebody tested it. But load management, we all know that now you have to be involved in at least 65% of playing time for you to be looked at any awards that the NBA moves. So finally, has the NBA done something right with this load management?
I mean, they're trying to correct a mistake that they shouldn't have never made by even allowing it in the first place. I feel like they are doing something right, but they're pushing this 82 game mindset, which I agree. Because I could have told them that load management wasn't going to do anything for the health and safety of players. Because you could sit for 2 or 3 games and your hamstring is fine. And then the next game you play, you could blow it out again. It's at any given moment that these injuries happen. So they are doing something right, but I feel like it's a little too late to kind of trying to correct a wrong, if that made any sense.
No, definitely. Kawhi, he's been, like Kyle said, he's been the test subject.
He started it.
He started it back in San Antonio with his knee, but Kawhi literally have knee issues. Like, he got chronic knee problems still playing basketball. So I see he's legitimately hurt all the time. You don't want to, But for these guys like Kyrie, it's inhumane to play back-to-back games. But this is what you signed up for. 82 games to play basketball. This is your profession.
It's inhumane for me to go to work back-to-back days. That's inhumane. They want 82 games worth of pay and only want to pay like 60 games. That's not equal. Like, what? It's inhumane, huh?
I gotta go to work all 5 days a week, but
that's don't inhumane right there.
Look, it's even inhumane if you gotta work on the weekend. Who does that?
Exactly. And Kyrie complaining.
But let me get your millions then. I will gladly play back-to-back games. Me being a coach for the Little League, I've played back-to-back games, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 games. Come on. So, and I don't get paid for it. But you complaining. Like, I just don't get it. You signed up to play professional basketball. So you got to do what they ask you to do. Anthony Edwards is the clear example. He said, I don't see what the problem is. This is what we get paid to do.
Exactly. If the youngins are getting it, what is with these old divas? You realize who the most of the people that are doing all this complaining about it's inhumane and I don't like back-to-backs are the older ones. The younger ones don't have an issue for the most part. I'm like, if you're too old to do a back-to-back, go sit down somewhere. Quit all that crying.
Facts. Exactly. Kyle said he tore his Achilles playing back-to-back at LA Fitness for free.
Exactly. These injuries happen regardless.
Right. Exactly.
Load management, just because you ice your leg for 5 minutes in 2 days, that doesn't mean that in the next game that you play that you can't re-injure it, because that happens too.
And
So it's like,
and it's not fair to us who pay our hard-earned dollars working back to back to
mm-hmm.
to come and see you, and you not even there.
And
Nobody
y'all over
want
on
to
the
see
sideline laughing.
nobody want to
Like,
see LeBron James or Anthony Davis on the bench, and we paid our hard-earned money to see you at LA at the Staples Center. Oh, sorry, it's not Staples Center. At Crypto.com, and all we getting is the backups. Nobody want to see that.
no.
Nobody want to see that. And it usually happens right as you go into the arena. Oh, such and such ain't playing. Are you serious?
Are
Like,
you serious? It kind of makes you want to turn around.
right. But
But
now
you can't because you spent so much money.
now you stuck in this traffic. You ain't got no choice but to go. And
Exactly.
so, but NBA, hopefully they finally get together. We'll see. But how can they say you not legitimately sick or you not hurt? That's going to be another thing that's going to
That's
pop up this
another
year.
issue.
So we'll see. It's more. It's always going to be more to this.
There's always drama in the NBA.
Always.
It's like a soap opera.
Never fails. All right. So we have going switching over to the NFL. There was an issue with so Jason Kelce, him and Travis Kelce, of course, got the podcast, and so always it's going to be an issue about this lovely move right here. If y'all don't know what this is the Tush Push, aka the brotherly shove. I don't know who came up with that, but that's a horrible name. Where of course it's a quarterback sneak, but he's getting a little help. It's about
Bama did it.
90. It's about 93, 94, 95 effective when the Eagles do it. When other teams copycat, it's not as successful. And then the Giants players get hurt. Now it's like, the NBA, NFL is a copycat league. You see other teams doing it. You got college kids doing it now. So
Bama just did it today.
Yep.
It worked.
Jason, did it work? Did they capitalize on it?
Yeah, it worked.
So Jason Kelce said on the New Heights show with his brother Travis, he said he thinks that more teams are going to, I guess, fake injuries off of it. Or here's my thing. You all know it's coming, but y'all still can't stop it. I feel like you have to have a good enough offensive line.
Thank you.
And Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds. So his legs are strong. And he got the big boys to do it up top. Yeah, I know injuries could happen. They're going as low as they can, but they still can't stop it. So now the NFL is probably going to look at this and possibly ban it. What's your thoughts on this Tush Push? Should it be legal? Should everybody stop crying about it? What's your thoughts?
I'm gonna say, because the way I felt about it hasn't really changed. If you don't like it, stop it. Figure out a way to stop it. And as far as people faking injuries when it comes to the Tush Push, how are you gonna tell somebody that they ain't faking an injury? I mean, certain people you can tell when they just pop right back up after wasting like 20 seconds. But you can't just sit here and say people faking injuries because of a play. But with that specific play, like if you don't have an offensive line that's similar, at least very similar to what the Eagles have, and if you don't have the quarterback that's at least similar to Jalen Hurts, it's not going to work out in your favor. Cough, cough, the Giants. Their offensive line is horrible, so I don't know what they thought they were doing with that. And now you're getting people hurt trying to be a copycat, and you're not equipped for that. I don't think it should be banned. This is not the side for the crybabies who are saying ban it because it's illegal and people are getting hurt. You know what type of personnel you have on your team. You know that if it's not equivalent to the Eagles or similar, or in a situation that you know you can get it, don't do it. Like, it banning a play because you can't adapt to it is just stupid. Learn how to stop it. Figure it out. We all have brains. Figure it out instead of crying.
So last year when they started it, they was 36 of 39, 92.3 on the play last year when they made their run to the Super Bowl. And that streak still continues. I think they stopped it once, but they went back to it.
It's just like, if you can't stop it, don't cry about it.
Yeah, I can't. That's Jury. Say hi. Hi.
Hi.
I got my glasses on. I can't see.
Oh my God.
The whole complaining about it just blow me, because I'm like, there's so much other stuff in the league that you could be complaining about, like referees and missed calls, but you're complaining about a tush push.
All these going off topic, but a lot of these players got fined this week. Dallas
For
got
stupid
fined.
reasons too.
Dallas got fined for unsportsmanlike conduct. All he did was stiff arm the guy. Like
Kittle got fined for the shirt that got Michael Parsons in his feelings.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. That. They did but then the touch, but again, if NFL decides they want to ban it, I'm sure the Eagles are going to do something else. They still can do a regular sneak without the push, because I still think Jalen in that line is good enough for him to do it regularly. But anyway, moving on. I digress. Speaking, since you brought it up, we all know that debacle that happened in Dallas when the San Francisco 49ers put a whooping on them Cowgirls. 42-10. George Kittle, when he scored 3 touchdowns, had the shirt, and he revealed that it said F Dallas. And Micah Parsons went on his podcast and just said, "Oh, well, it's personal now. We'll see y'all again." And Deebo's response to that is, "Well, it may be worse than what you got last time." I said this on 7200 Seconds. If y'all want to go tune in and check that out every Tuesday. I said they need to be worrying about how to get out the playoffs and not have the same team beat y'all twice back to back and playoffs.
It should have been personal.
Figuring that out, but you worrying about
a shirt.
Go ahead, sound off.
Dallas is a whole bunch of front runners. Like, what? They could see them 5,000 times. The result probably still wouldn't change. Because now they just did it a different way. Whether as the previous 2 games were kind of sort of close, this was a blowout game. And Mr. Parsons is the last athlete that needed a podcast. The last one. Because he talked a lot. And a little too much. First, he said that it was personal after the Kittle shirt. It should have been personal before. This the same team that evicted y'all out the playoffs for 2 straight years. So it wasn't personal then, but it's personal about a shirt. Come on, Micah. And then you said that they weren't set up for success in whatever type of kind of lowballing his coaches. We didn't hear your name but one time during that game. Trent Williams handled you and neutralized you, Micah. And then you said that it was somewhat close. At what point do we start calling this man delusional? Close? At what point of the universe is 42-10 close? And the thing is, I like what Deebo said, because it could have been worse. If you think about it, the 49ers rested their starters in the 4th quarter. They could have hung 50 on the Cowboys. And Michael over here talking about a shirt. Figure out how to stop the run game. When it comes to a team that can match your physicality, that punch you in the mouth, We all know that if you punch Dallas in the mouth, they can't punch back.
Facts, Kyle. Like, how do you not know you got to hand the ball to the ref? You got to hand your ball to the ref. And then y'all do a quarterback draw with no timeouts. Who does that? Mike McCarthy. You can't blame Kellen Moore now. You cannot blame Kellen Moore. He's not there anymore. So who's it on? Can't say the offense coordinator. Kellen Moore not there. Cowboys had Purdy looking like Joe Montana. Sure did.
Exactly. Because they couldn't do anything with that. Because the one thing about the 49ers, they're not going to just attack your weakness. They're going to attack everything else about you too. They'll attack your strengths. So it's not Dallas, they just front run, because when it comes down to teams that they can just roll over and get pick sixes and get these short fields, and that quarterback that they have to the field multiple times during the game, that's when they do all this extra hoopla and talking da 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 da. But if you get a team that'll flat out punch you in the mouth, it's a different story. And eventually they'll crumble.
It's horrible. Dallas run defense ain't what it's all cracked up to be.
It could be you can run right at them.
And San Fran exposed them. Arizona exposed them. Letting James Conner run up and down on them. Josh Dobbs had that big old run. Just imagine when you see a running quarterback like Jalen Hurts and the DeAndre Swift gets there. Like, Dallas y'all need to be thinking about something else. That was like, oh, this is a humbling loss. Humbling loss? Arizona should have been humbled y'all. What are y'all talking about?
That was the humbling one. This was the embarrassing one.
So now you're going up against your former offensive coordinator. Don't get beat by the Chargers.
Because they can't beat you if they're healthy. And I like Justin Herbert more than I like Dak. Facts. Even though he hasn't done much either.
That's definitely facts.
That's because he has an incompetent coach, but that's another topic for another discussion.
All right, so we're going to move on to the turf versus grass combination. The turf versus grass has come up again. A lot of injuries happen on the turf. We didn't see a lot of injuries so far this season so far. Whether it's the artificial turf, homemade turf, whatever turf. I hate it. Well, I hate it when my son played turf on a turf field because he came home with all them damn pellets in my house. So I know that the turf is the surfaces are a little harder when you fall. And the grass, I know, does soften the blow a little bit. And I know it's probably a lot of money to try to make all the team or all the fields grass. But what do you think they could do? Should they move to a grass field, or what should they do maybe to cause less some of these injuries when it comes to playing on turf versus grass?
Because I don't understand what turf is other than to run fast and look good. What's the point? Listen to your players, NFL. They hate turf. It's more slippery. Like you said, it's harder to fall on because it's layered with the grass, turf thing, some rubber pellets, and something else under it. That's hard. And if you keep falling on hard surfaces like that, you're going to mess something up eventually. Like if you keep falling on a piece of hardwood floor, you're going to mess your back up eventually. It's not going to be immediate. It'll probably be residual. And grass is more soft. It has more give as the person falls. Listen to your players. If all you care about is looking good and running fast, this is not the sport for that. This is a collision sport, and we need to make it as safe for the players and as comfortable for the players as they can be. But, the NFL wants to be cheap, and they don't like listening to their players half the time, so it's probably not going to change. But I'm definitely on grass side. And turf stink, if you ask me.
So the researchers found 16% more injuries per play on artificial turf compared to grass. The authors concluded that if all games had been played on grass during the period, there would have been 319 fewer foot and leg injuries. Looking only at non-contact injuries, the risk was even higher, about 20% more injuries per play.
See? So the proof is in the pudding. Legit. Even though I understand that, but these are billion-dollar corporations. Cost should not be an issue. They got millions of dollars to build new stadiums and charge taxpayers out the butt. They can upkeep the grass. They can pay
Right.
somebody to mow the grass and make sure that it's drained and make sure that it's suitable to be playing for. These are billion-dollar corporations. I'm not worried about that. Player safety should be the number one. If they don't like turf because they keep getting hurt on turf and the injuries are more serious and significant than they were like in the previous few years, they need to stick with grass.
Facts. Especially with a lot of the superstars getting hurt, like your quarterbacks and the running backs and the
Aaron
receivers,
Rodgers, even though that was
and your defensive players, the people who you come to see. Not saying
are
that it don't
getting
matter
hurt.
if like a backup or somebody gets hurt, but you're coming to see superstars, and you got your quarterbacks getting hurt, you got your running backs getting hurt, things of that nature off of this turf. Yeah, I know grass is more the upkeep, but I'm sure there's somebody, something you can be done to help with the grass. Kyle did mention maybe getting a retractable dome, had the one big old tarp to cover the field, something. I'm sure with this up in technology that we have now in 2023, I'm sure there is something they definitely can figure out. Um, just like they did with the concussion protocol and concussions and helmets, and they got to wear that Guardian helmet in practice. I'm sure y'all can figure out this grass situation.
Because, like, one thing I do know, because I live like 40 minutes down from Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, it has a retractable thingy.
So does Allegiant Stadium. They got grass, and the cool part about Allegiant Stadium is, so their grass comes on, and then the grass comes out, and they can put it outside and let it get some sun. So, I mean, you can figure it out in the NFL. You can figure it out.
So they take the grass out the stadium?
What happened?
No. Because, like, I'm trying to figure out how that go.
So
it's like,
I forget how it. I forget how they do it, but it's the grass goes out the stadium, like it's on something that's retractable. They can put it outside. I don't know. It was really cool though. I was like, this is what money does. So
exactly.
They
got plenty of it.
Now more on a serious note. Sergio Brown, if y'all not know who Sergio Brown is, Sergio Brown was an NFL player. He did play for the Jags. He played for the Bills. He was a safety. Played for New England at one point. But mental health, I believe, was the cause of this because his mother was found passed away, and they seen him going back to his mother's house and getting up clothes and everything. So they finally did arrest him in connection to his mother's death. This is what I've been saying for the longest about mental health, and especially I know men as well can be stubborn at times. There are some players in the NFL. I know Lane Johnson was one of them. Brandon Brooks was another one. Calvin Ridley took a year off to figure it out. Lane Johnson, he's admitted, to his depression and anxiety. Brandon Brooks has not played in the game because he wasn't there. And he said, I can't be on the field with my guys if I'm not there. So mental health is a serious issue. We already know we got CTE going around. You can't really fully get diagnosed until you pass away, unfortunately. But there are signs. And Antonio Brown is one of them. I'm convinced.
And Chandler Jones.
I'm convinced that Antonio Brown has CTE.
Yes.
Because if you look at the beginning of his career, just look
He
how
was
he talks. Look how he talks, and look at now. It completely changed after Montez Burfict cracked him. It could be completely changed. Um, so it's a serious issue with me when it comes to mental health because me myself was diagnosed with anxiety and depression. A lot of I might look fine now, but you don't know what I go through behind closed doors, with the faces. I come up here all the time. You don't know what people are going through. So I've said this and I know it's really hard to be a professional athlete. I know it's serious. You got to keep up with the team, the media, your persona, everything, and I get it. Every professional, whether it's the MLB, NBA, NHL, NFL, should be mandatory for them to talk to a therapist at least once a month. Once a month. Because that way then you can see what their feelings, maybe you can catch it. Something. Everybody should be required to see a therapist once a month to make sure they're good. Because if your mental ain't right, something can go off the deep end. Harrison, what's his name? Tennessee, not Tennessee, Minnesota. Everson Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
He had signs of it. Um, Not saying Chandler Jones had issues. Richard Sherman even had. We was like, what's going on with Sherman? It's, they're human beings too. At the end of the day, before they take their jerseys off, they go home to their families. They are still human beings, and something's happened to Sergio Brown over the years. Whether concussion, something mentally is going on. I think he did so. I think he did this to his mother. So we gotta check on our players, the retired ones too. We gotta make sure they're good. And again, guys, men, I know y'all are stubborn, but y'all can't let this go. And y'all have to, see somebody for it. What's your thoughts on the whole mental health in sports?
It's definitely something that needs to be talked about, especially in high collision sports like football, where you have head injuries. Like I like off when I don't watch sports and stuff, I watch a lot of things about dealing with people in their mental because I also have my own struggles. Um so it's like if you have a history of head injuries and concussions and stuff like that, or traumatic brain injuries and stuff like that, you're definitely likely to have mental health issues relatively later in life. And that's what we see with these athletes, especially with Antonio Brown, Chandler Jones. Cause after what Chandler Jones, some of the stuff that he said, he was going off on tangents about people and doing things to other people and all this other stuff. And Mark Davis this, and he was held without knowing and whatnot. I'm like, they probably 5150 them because he's been going on social media acting a fool. If you don't know what a 5150 is, it's 3-day involuntary hold.
I was about to say
But
it's a 302 up here. 302. We all know what that means, and no, it's not Delaware's area code.
so it's like in this case, it's very sad to see because the way that it looks like he murdered his mama. And because what we know is he was also on Instagram Live mumbling about fake news. Even when they arrested him because he was in Mexico and they had to extradite him. And when they arrested him, he was causing a mess on the plane. So yes, something clearly isn't right. And I just I really hate that some men are very stubborn about talking about their mental health because quit holding that in. Because if you keep holding it in, it's going to keep getting it worse, making it worse, making it worse. And it's going to get to a point where you feel like you can't dig yourself up out of it. And then when you snap, it's like, we all see it now. But just don't hold stuff in. I just hate it that they're so stubborn. personally. But the athletes that they are getting better at speaking out. And that I applaud because that do take courage. It takes a lot of courage to speak about what you're struggling with. But it is something that we need to take more serious in sports. I know we talk about people being soft, but there's a difference between being soft and genuinely having mental health issues that lead to things like what Mr. Sergio is alleged to have done to his mom. So yeah, it's a definite conversation that doesn't need to stop.
That was a society issue. It wasn't as seen as masculine to express feelings, but it is definitely changing. No, I totally get that because it's not good to see a man cry and all this other stuff. Like I don't like that. I mean, again, we are human. We are humans at the end of the day, and it's okay to cry and let your emotions out and tell somebody. I'd rather tell somebody when I'm feeling, keep it balled up, and go out there and do something dumb. Rather hurt myself, hurt somebody else. It, but I applaud the ones who came forward about it, to get to get their mind right and get some help, because once you do talk to somebody, you feel so much better, and nobody's going to judge you. We're not going to judge you. The therapist, the psychologist, they're not there to judge you. They're there to help you. And I know maybe people feel like they're there to judge you, but they're not. They're not. So it's okay if you gotta take some type of meds, a mood stabilizer or whatever. Because that was my issue. That's why I don't want to talk to nobody, because I didn't want to be no pills. But once I started talking, and okay, maybe I did take a pill or two. You know what? I was a lot calmer. Like, you think so much clearly. It's crazy. So I do applaud the athletes who are coming forward with this, saying, hey, I have an issue. I need to step away, or I need to talk to somebody, and don't be afraid to. So yeah, I do applaud those players. I understand how hard definitely that it can be. But mental health is still a serious issue, regardless throughout the world, not just in the professional sports world, just in the world in general. But again, check on the retired players, the ones that had the head trauma. Check on them. Junior Seau, I think, again, we all know he had the CTE after he was gone. He had showed some of his signs. Warren Sapp even came out and said he thinks he got some symptoms, because he said he went somewhere and could not remember where he was at or why he was gone. So, I mean, definitely get that.
And it's scary when you're aware of yourself changing, because I've been there. That's definitely scary.
All right, so we're going to get into these last bit of here for the day. We got picks and predictions. If you, I didn't watch that debacle that happened in Denver on Thursday night, but we all know that the Kansas City Chiefs did beat Denver, and Kansas City Chiefs ain't look good to dang on himself. Only one touchdown on the rest of the goals. Even though Pat, he did have 300 yards. Russell, he didn't even crack 100.
No, you know how bad that is to get 4 quarters, and he threw the ball how many times, and you didn't even get 100 yards. My God, I'm glad I was at work that moment.
I was watching the Phillies beat the Braves. So
I had to deal with mad Braves fans later that night.
So Russell threw 13 for 22. He was for 95 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. And Mahomes was 30 of 40, 306, an interception in the tub. And Travis Kelce was his high man, 9 receptions, 124. Of course, he had to show out because Taylor Swift was there. But anyway,
Taylor Swift.
You ain't never lied. You ain't never lied.
It makes me not even want to listen to her music.
I think,
and I get tired of that too.
It's benefiting her more than Travis, but that's my opinion. All right, so got some breaking news from Schefter. Kirk Cousins is expected to remain in Minnesota this season. and would not look to waive the no trade clause in his contract,
We knew
short
that was
of
gonna
changing
happen.
unseen
Anybody
circumstances.
who was gonna trade for that? Who in their right mind was gonna trade for that? The Jets weren't gonna do it,
They are forcing Russ into a quick position. Yep,
and that's not his game style.
sure
So,
enough ain't.
but
So
he's
I'm
not as athletic
thinking,
as he once was either. So,
but then Russ ain't also used to a hard nosed coach either. Because
that's true.
I'm not sure if
He
you
looked
saw.
dejected.
I'm not
I'm like,
sure if you saw what Marshawn said about him. Pete Carroll had played, coached him different. He kind of not say babied him, but didn't yell. It wasn't that
they
hard.
coddled him.
So that made them look at them Russ a certain way. But let's go ahead and get in these picks here. We got the London game at 9:30. We got your Tennessee Titans going up against the Baltimore Ravens. Who are you taking?
I'm gonna be a homer here, just because if it do happens, I'm also gonna be very insufferable to certain people. So, but everybody else is picking against my team pretty much. So they're probably gonna go out and have a Super Bowl type performance because that's what they always do. But I don't like how they traveled this week. That's none of my. I don't like that. But I feel like this is. We'll get back on track. We'll get back on track. My offensive line is gonna have to be better, but I'm taking Tennessee. Old school rivalry.
I'm going to take Baltimore here to bounce back from that debacle that they did last week. They're getting their receivers back. OBJ's back. I think Rashad Bateman's back. Um, so Lamar shouldn't have to do much. Or they picked the Titans on sideline to sideline. Ew. Um,
If he could stay off the ground. If
I,
Lamar could
I'm
stay off the ground.
I'm going to say Baltimore here. You got the Panthers who are only 5 going up against the Miami Dolphins. No Devin A. Chain. He had to put him on IR, but he should be for his knee for a few weeks. So who wins this game?
The Dolphins single-handedly. I don't know what's going on in Carolina, and it's not all Bryce Young's fault. They don't have the right pieces together. I don't know what Frank Reich was thinking, putting Adam Thielen and whoever it is trying to catch passes from that man, and there's no offensive line. But it's not all Bryce Young's fault. Give it some time
I
before we go start
mean,
calling people a
Adam Thielen
bust.
is the leading receiver, and he's his best target.
Exactly. So
But I feel like it's hurting his confidence a little bit because they came out and said they didn't want him. Frank Reich didn't want Bryce Young. That was a owner pick. He wanted C.J. Stroud. So now I feel like Bryce hearing that. I don't know if it
you
kind
got to get rid of. Now you got to get rid of. You got to get rid of Frank Reich. You
it
got
was
to.
it wasn't Frank. Frank did. But now you got to deal with with it. Now they're not playing with Miles Sanders. He's out. So you got Chuba Hubbard back there, who's a very good running back. But their defense isn't half bad. It's just offensively they can't score. They can't get over games. But yeah, I'm going to go here with Miami here. Thielen has been good. It's a process in Carolina. Definitely is. You got the Colts and the Jags. Division game here.
I hope they tie. I really hope they tie. Let me think. From what I saw from the Colts last week, and what I saw I just lost to the Colts last week, and what I see for the Jags which is inconsistent. I want to go with the Jags, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts ripped off another division win. But because I like one, Anthony Richardson is hurt, and I like Trevor Lawrence over Gardner Minshew. So I really don't like either team. I hope they tie. I hope they don't score at all.
That would be hilarious.
So I'll take the Jags.
I'm going to take the Colts because it seems like the Jags cannot beat the Colts at home. They are in
That is true
Jacksonville.
too.
Duval. They are in Jacksonville, and if for whatever reason, I feel like the Jags cannot beat the Colts at home. Somehow, I think the Colts sneak out with this. Uncle Rico was back there. He's more seasoned. He knows Shane Steichen back with the Eagles, so Shane knows what he can do. They got the running back duo. If Jonathan Taylor
They
gets
got
in,
Jonathan Taylor to back. I don't.
Zach Moss, we all seen what he did. They got uh they got the tight end, the big guy Woods. You got Pittman. The defense is all right. I mean, I'm gonna take the Colts here. I think it's not gonna be like a blowout. I think the Colts will sneak one in, maybe get like a late touchdown or a field goal or something like that. I think it's gonna be close. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think the Colts still find a way to win.
I see that
Another,
because the Jaguars' defense is also very inconsistent as well. Sometimes they don't even show up.
so we got another division game here in the North. And the NFC side, Kirk Cousins in Minnesota with no Justin Jefferson, who they just said will be out 4 to 6 weeks with that hamstring. So now Kirk got to rely on T.J. Hockenson, rookie Jordan Addison, and K.J. Osborne, and then you got Justin Fields, who's trying to turn things around. Who you got?
What time is this game at? 1:00.
Yep.
I want as much out as Minnesota is the smart pick. That's the smart one because I still haven't seen enough from Chicago. Even though Justin Fields has been cooking for the past 2 games. I wouldn't be surprised if they beat Minnesota, but I'm to be on the safe side because I like Minnesota's defense better than I like Chicago's. Even though they're both horrible, give me Minnesota. But if Chicago wins, I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm taking Chicago. Kyle said he got Chicago. He got the Bears in the upset. I think Chicago will find a way. Minnesota's defense not that consistent either. They still got offensive line issues. They still can't. They still got fumbleitis. They fumbled in every game this year.
Oh, yeah.
Every game they fumbled. So I see this turnover battle going to Chicago. They're going to find a way.
That might make me change my pick right there. Them fumbles, because it's not even they're throwing picks. They just can't keep the ball off the ground.
But somehow, some way, whenever I don't pick Minnesota, they win, and when I pick them, they lose.
That's
but
why
Chicago's will win this game. I got Chicago winning this game.
Them and the Commanders, they aggravate me so much.
We got the Houston Texans going up against the Saints. Who you got?
The Houston Texans look good. I'm not even finna sit here and lie on YouTube. They look good. And the Saints, if they could figure out that offense, could look good too. And they both have very good defense. Now, with the one thing about Houston is I don't trust their offensive line that much. That is true. I don't trust that offensive line that much. So that being said, I'll go Saints, but Houston has made me start wanting to pick them more because every time I pick against them, they win. I'm like, I'll just take Houston just for the sake of it because if I don't, they'll win anyway.
Yeah, because I think I picked them last week and they lost.
Exactly.
But no, I'm going Saints here. I still like the Saints defense. The line can protect Derek Carr can get it together with Chris Olave. And the running game with Kamara's back and everything. I like the Saints. This should be a good game, though.
It should be a good game.
San Fran and 49ers.
And who?
San Fran. Oh, my bad. San Fran is the Browns. My fault.
The Browns don't have Deshaun Watson. San Fran finna ragdoll the Browns. Not gonna lie. Because the Browns with Deshaun Watson and the Browns without are two completely different teams.
I feel bad for PJ Walker. I'm going San Fran here. We got the Bengals and Seattle.
Give me Cincinnati.
I got Cincinnati too. They'll bounce back and be 3-3. We got the Atlanta Falcons up against Washington.
A snooze fest. Battle of the unpredictables. Give me the Falcons. I have a funny feeling.
I said I would never pick the Raiders again, but the Raiders versus New England, I got the Raiders.
Sorry, Kyle, but
I know.
I gotta pick the Raiders. Now, just because I picked the Raiders, New England might run through them like a buzzsaw.
We got another division game here. We got the NFC West. We got the Rams up against the Cardinals.
Rams.
I got the Rams too. And we got the Tampa Bay Bucks going up against the Detroit Lions.
This is going to be a good game unexpectedly because the Buccaneers have kind of started to play well. But give me Detroit.
I got Detroit too. Got to ride the hot hand. They'll be 4-1 right now. We got the 5-0 Eagles going up against the Jets. The Jets don't have no secondary. Reed is out and Sauce Gardner is out. Concussion protocol.
The Eagles by 1 million. Quarterback.
Eagles will win this game. The we got the battle in New York. We got the Giants up against the Bills and no Daniel Jones, no Saquon, no Andrew Thomas. I think
they might as well just cancel the game. Because who's gonna want to see that?
Don't worry, I got the Bills winning this game. And
yeah, it's not gonna be close either.
Then we got Monday night. Got the Chargers going up against the Cowboys.
I want to say Dallas, but Justin Herbert can make them have to put Dak on the field for extended periods of time. I want to say Dallas, but I don't know what I'm going to get when it comes to the Chargers. And I don't know what I'm going to get when it comes to Dak either. If I pick the Chargers, Brandon Staley's going to do something stupid and let Dallas win the game. So I'll just pick Dallas regardless because Staley's horrible.
I got the Chargers here. I think Eckler's back. I believe in Dak. I mean, not Dak. I believe in Herbert more than Dak and that team. Their
head coach.
I mean, their defense not going to get 6 sacks on Dak like Khalil Mack did on Aiden O'Connell. But still, I think, that defense will probably get at him. I'm going to take the Chargers here. All right, y'all. So that's almost our time here for today. But make sure y'all check us out on the Sports Empire Network as well. We are on the Northeast Sports Streaming platform as well. So make sure you go check them out. We on Roku TV. And if you don't know a little bit who they are, check them out. But make sure y'all tune in next week. We'll be back same time, same place, same channel. It's Key, it's Jory. We're going to get them out of here. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Go watch some college football. Because ain't nothing else on tonight. But we get them out of here, y'all.
I mean, you can see right now, without LeBron, Lakers are struggling.
Let me tell you about the team I hate, all right? I know the Dallas Cowboys fan is here, so I had to make sure he knew how much I hate this team.
I'm ready.
I've often said that the people who run baseball, they try very hard to ruin it.
I'm from Brooklyn. I don't have a problem saying it to his face. Oh, I'm from Brooklyn. Hey.